Let's make our caramel mirror glaze. So the first thing that we want to do is start hydrating our hydrocolloids, which are our seaweed powders today. So we're going to take our first measurement of water, or our water measurement A, and we're going to combine that with our agar-agar and our iota-carrageenan. So our seaweed powders today are replacing the gelatin that would traditionally be in this recipe. Just mix that together and set that aside for about 15 minutes. Meanwhile, we can prepare our dry caramel. So in my saucepan here, we're going to get this over a medium-high heat. And we're going to put a layer of our sugar down the bottom and just wait patiently until it starts melting, and then continue adding sugar. Once you can see that your sugar is starting to melt, add another layer of sugar. And just slowly start mixing it until all those sugar crystals are dissolved and we're left with a beautiful amber caramel. Once all your sugar crystals have dissolved, turn the heat down and we're going to add our warm plant cream and water measurement B. Everything together until your sugar has dissolved. So our sugar is completely dissolved. We're going to switch the heat off, and now we're going to add our hydrated powders. That's our agar-agar and our iota-carrageenan, along with our neutral glaze. And we're going to get this back onto the heat and bring it to a simmer. Whilst that's heating up again, in my small bowl here I have some cornstarch, and we're going to add a little bit of water, just enough to get a paste. And whilst whisking, we're going to add our slurry or our cornstarch paste. And we're going to slowly bring this to a simmer. Once your mixture starts simmering, we want to allow it to simmer on a low heat for 30 seconds. Once your 30 seconds is up, just remove from the heat. And we're going to strain into a heat-safe jug. Add your vegan white chocolate, and using an immersion blender, we're going to blend this until emulsified. Just make sure that you try not to add any additional air bubbles. So just put your stick blender below the surface and blend, don't lift it up above the surface level. Combine, just remove your stick blender. Give it a tap underneath just to bring any of those air bubbles to the surface. And we're going to put some cling wrap to contact. And set your glaze aside until it's at your working temperature before you use it to glaze your cakes. Now that our caramel glaze has reached the working temperature, so 40 degrees, between 35 and 40 degrees, we're going to re-blend it. So just take that cling wrap off. And again, just make sure that you don't incorporate any air bubbles. So blend below the surface. scrape down the edges just to make sure that you're getting everything incorporated. You'll notice that the color will start changing as well. So you want to make sure everything is ready. We're going to glaze our first cake. I've just taken it out of the freezer. So we're going to give our caramel mirror glaze a bit of a stir. And we have our offset spatula. You need to make sure that it's wider than your cake. I'm going to start in the center and work quite swiftly in circular motion until it covers all of our cake. Okay, give it a little tap and we're going to swipe. And just let it set aside for a minute or two, just until it starts setting a little bit before you transfer onto your cake board. So it's been a minute or two and I can see that it's already started setting. So I'm going to grab my offset spatula and go underneath my cake. Make sure you've got a good grip. We're going to go around a little bit just to kind of catch any excess. Using a knife, make sure you've got a good grip before you transfer onto your cake board. Now you're going to transfer your caramel glaze that has come off back into your jug. Now you want to go ahead and check the temperature of your glaze. It's most likely cooled down quite a bit, so you can pop it in the microwave and heat it up slightly until you get back to your working temperature so you can glaze your second cake. And now you can go ahead and glaze your second cake.